Hi guys, and welcome to this Divi theme tutorial. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we're going to continue on. We're using the Divi Supreme Modules plugin here in addition to the Divi theme, and we're going to create this sort of animated sales banner with a dual color headline right there. Really easy to do, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is enable the Visual Builder. Once enabled, let's go down to where we want to work, and what I'll do is I'll get rid of this whole row right here and we'll start from scratch. So I'll get rid of that one. We'll add a new row, doesn't matter where I put it. I'm going to have a single column. Now Divi comes as standard with all these light grey modules right here, and you do just about anything with them. But with the Supreme Modules edition, you get all these sort of blue purpley ones here, and there's about 40 of them, and they got some really useful effects. Some of these can be made with a bit of custom CSS and stuff, but here it's done all for you and makes it really easy. So I'm looking for my dual heading, which is right there. And as you can see, it sort of puts in a bit of writing with two colors going on there. Now the before text is this bit that says dual here. The middle text is the bit that says heading, and then you can add anything you want afterwards. So I put in my massive sale. For the middle, I think I put 48 hours only. And after on all products. Obviously you're going to want to put in whatever you want, and you can see there it's put it in first bit, middle bit, last bit. Looks like I need to put a gap in, or a gap or space after the sale there. There we go. And I've got two capitals there. I'm going to capitalize all of this anyway, so it doesn't make much difference. So let's get started on the actual row itself. We'll save what we've got here because we've got our text that we want. Let's go into our row. I want to make it full width so it stretches the whole width of the page here. So I'm going to go into the cog. I'm going to go to design, sizing. I want it to be 100%. And you can either copy that or just type in 100% in the max width below. And that'll give you a row, a full width, the full width of whatever device you're viewing on. Now, as you can see, it's pushed it over to the left there. That's fine. I'm going to leave that for a moment while I decorate our actual section here. So let's go to the content. Let's go to the background. I'm going to add a background color. I'm also going to add a background image, and we can blend the two. Now when I blend stuff, I usually like to have an image that's got a bit going on in it. Something like this waterfall picture here. Now you can see the picture, but you can't see the color. But if we roll down just a little bit here, you've got all these different effects. You can multiply it with the color, you can screen it, which sort of does a different lighter effect. I think I liked the difference, worked well for me for this. I know we can't see the text at the moment, that's not a problem. I'm going to give it a bit more spacing so it's wider, and I'm also going to give it a bit more of a gap, a bit of margin between the top section and the one below it, so it stands out a little bit more. So let's go over to our design. Let's go over to spacing this time, and I'm going to give it, say, 75 pixels top. Just put in the 75, it'll put in the pixels for you. Hit the little chain, it'll do the opposite side, so we've got the bottom going on there. That's absolutely fine. And like I say, I want to make a bit more space between the row above and the row below, so I'll use a margin. Let's give it 50 pixels gap at the top there, hit the chain, and we got it at the bottom there. Fantastic. Last thing I want to do to this thing, well actually it's not the last thing, I'm going to give it a bit of box shadow. Now I'm going to go back. When I hover over it, I want the color to change from blue to say red, and it'll make that image look a lot different. So let's go back into our background, go up to where it says background in the dark writing there, hover over it, and you'll see these little icons. Hit the little arrow. Now for the desktop, I want it to stay blue. The desktop is basically the non-hover state, so when nobody's mouse is on it, that's the desktop state. Hover state, funnily enough, is when your mouse is hovering over it. And for this, I want to change the actual background color itself. So we're on the hover state. I'm going to change that from blue to red. There we go. So that's quite a dramatic change from the hover to the non-hover state. And the default time it takes to do this is 300 milliseconds. I want to slow that down, because when you put two different colors in and slow it down gradually, you get sort of gradients of colors in between. I quite like that. So I'm going to go to the Advanced tab. I'm going to go to Transitions. Now, as you can see, there's the default 300. I'm going to slow mine down to about a second or 1,000 milliseconds, something like that. Obviously, you want to do exactly what works for you. So we're good to go with the row right now. Let's go back in and work on our module with the text in there. So we've got our text. You can link it to a sales page, obviously, if you have one, or any way you want to link it by simply putting the URL in here. Don't need a background or anything at the moment for this. Let's go to the Design tab. Let's go to the main text. I want to put it in the middle. And I want to change the font. Let's firstly see change color so we can see what's going on. And Divi literally has 900 font families to choose from. And if you open it up, once you hover over them, it'll show you an example of that particular font. But also it'll show you fonts that you've used recently. So I'm going to use Anton, which is kind of blocky looking thing. I'm going to make it all uppercase. Not sure if I need to make it bold or not. I don't know if it'll make any difference. Yeah, it does. That's a little overkill right there. Let's just leave it regular for the moment. I can change that in a moment. Now I want it to be huge, so I'm going to ramp it up to about 100 pixels. Yeah, that's fine. And I want the spacing of the letters just a little bit more, so let's crank that up to 5. Yeah, that's better, so it's sort of spread out. I won't change the line height. I will give it a little bit of text shadow. That'll help it stand out even just a little bit more. And I want it to be in the middle, so go down to text alignment and we'll pop it in the middle. That's pretty much got it just how I want it. Now the middle text I just want to change slightly. I want to change that color from that default color, which is my default accent color I've got set for this theme. So if we go down to middle text, we can go down and change the color. I'm simply going to change it to yellow because that stands out pretty well on both backgrounds, I should imagine. And we're done. That was pretty easy to do. Let's save our changes and see what we've got. Save the page changes and exit the Visual Builder. There we go, and there's our little sale banner. Now when we hover over it, it should take a second to change color from that blue hue to the sort of red hue. And there we go. And I don't know if you noticed, there's sort of colors in between the little fade there because we slowed it down. And that's pretty eye-catching. That's going to get people's eyeballs on your banner as soon as they roll their mouse over it. Really easy to do with the Supreme modules. So I hope you've enjoyed that and found it useful. If you have, please ring the bell, give it a thumbs up, comment, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.